This is the University of St. LaSalle College of Arts and Sciences Mathematics Department. Next up in our series of videos in Algebra 101, we will be presenting a very brief um, uh, discussion about solving rational equations. So we will just be tackling a particular um, case, and this will not be for all rational equations, but this will be for a special case. Okay, so a very brief one. So we're going to start with the content of what rational equations are. So definition first. So a rational expression is a ratio or quotient written in the form of P over Q, where P and Q are polynomials. That is, imagine P here as groups of terms. So that's what a polynomial is, groups of terms. And Q is also a polynomial. And Q must be strictly not equal to 0. Well then, again, this is a fraction. And if Q is 0, that's not gonna be good in our rational expression. Okay, so that's an expression. Remember an expression as something, a group of terms without an equal sign. So the moment you're going to put the equal sign there, we will call that a rational equation. So a rational equation is an equality. Okay, so meaning there is an equal sign there, consisting of at least one rational expression. Okay, so a rational equation is an equality. There's an equal sign that there exists at least one rational expression there. So in this particular video, we're just going to um, study or discuss this special case here. So this case one of how to solve rational equations. Um, this is the case one where the equation is in the form of a proportion. That is, a over b equals c over d. So as you can see, we have a fraction here equals a fraction here. No more other things beside these fractions, but it's strictly a fraction equals a fraction. That's a proportion there. Okay, so how do we solve this case number one, as we call it case number one over here? So what are the steps? So we have two simple steps to solve this kind of rational equations. So first is we're going to cross multiply, simple as that. So multiplying a and d and b and c. Okay, and then after that we're going to simplify the equation to get the value of x. So there will be some x here. In any part of this a, b, c, or d, there will be an x. And our aim for this video is to solve that x and get the value of that x. That's what solving equations mean, right? So we're going to get the value of x in the last part. Okay, so let's have two simple examples here. So number one, first, so we have 1 over 2x plus 5 equals 1 over x plus 5. So we're going to get the value of x's here so that it will preserve the equality. Okay, that is, it's going to be equal. So remember the steps. Step number 1 is to cross multiply. Step number 2 is to get the value of x by isolating the x and then getting its value on the other side of the equation. So if we do that, cross multiply 1 times this equals 3 times this. So that will give us this line then. Okay, so everything here will be algebra then. So we will distribute 1 to this binomial here. We're going to distribute 3 to this binomial here. On the left hand side, we have nothing that much to do. We're just going to copy x. We're just going to copy x plus 5. And here we're going to distribute 3 times 2x. That's going to become 6x. And 3 times 5 is going to become 15. So that's our next line. And then next step will be we're going to put all the x's on one side and put all the constants on the other side, okay, so that we can get the value of x. If we do that, we're going to transpose the 6x to the other side. This is positive, this becomes negative when it arrives here. Okay, and this 5 will be transferred or transposed on the other side, on the right hand side. This is positive, so it will become negative when it will arrive here. Okay, so that will be it. Okay, and then copy the x here. We cannot do anything with the x, so just copy it. Copy the 15. We don't do anything with the 15 here, so let's just copy it. The 5 crosses the equal sign. The sign will be opposite. 6x crosses the equal sign. Its sign will be opposite. Okay, will be the opposite one. And then we simplify it side by side. So on the left hand side, 1x minus 6x is going to become negative 5x. And on the other side, 15 minus 5 is simply 10. We know that. And then negative 5x equals 10. Isolate the value of x, or rather isolate the variable x and get its value. Okay, so we're going to divide negative 5 on both terms. So if we're going to do that, we will be left with x on the left hand side rather, and we will be left by 10 divided by negative 5. That is negative 2. So that's the value of our x. That's going to become negative 2. In such a way that if we're going to substitute the value of x here as negative 2, you will end up in an equality. That is, it will be an identity. This side will be equal to this side. Okay, so we're going to have our last example in this video. So we have here for number 2, 2 over x equals 9 over x minus 3. So again, remember the step number 1, we're going to cross multiply, and step number 2, we're going to get the value of x. So cross multiply, 2 times 3 minus x, and 9 times x. That's it. Okay, distribute this. So 2 times x, 2 times negative 3 equals 9 times x. Oh, well, this 9 times x could be just, delete the parentheses, and then we distributed the 2 on the left hand side, and then we're going to isolate all the x's. So as you can see, there are 2 terms with a variable and 1 constant term. So how about this? Let's just leave the constant term on the left hand side so that we won't have any problem with the signs, and we're just going to transpose this 2x on the right hand side. Okay, so if we're going to do that, this positive 2x will become negative 2x on the right hand side. We copy everything else, and that will be it. So negative 6 equals 9x minus 2x. 9x minus 2x is simply 7x. Okay, right? 9 minus 2. Since they're like terms, you can combine them. And then negative 6 equals 7x. We're going to divide 7 to the whole equation so that we could isolate the x. And then what we'll be left with is negative 6 over 7. Since we cannot divide 6 by 7. Okay, so we're going to be left with a fraction, and then it's negative since 6 is negative, so we're going to have that one. Okay, so that's our very short video, a very brief video about solving rational equations in a special case number 1, wherein we are given a fraction equals a fraction. Okay, so every time we're given a fraction equals a fraction, we could do number 1, cross multiply, and number 2, get the value of x. Okay, so thank you so much. Hit the like button here and there down below, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks.